Hey, how's it going? It's Devin with Devin's Card House. I make daily TCG videos about whatever's going on in the market that interests me. If you like that, feel free to subscribe. I'll cover things like Sorcery, Lorcana, Flesh and Blood, Magic. Magi Nation. I've been wanting to talk about that. So just whatever. There's lots of cool stuff. There's always stuff going on. It's always interesting. And there's not enough time in the day to talk about everything that needs to be talked about. Like this needs to be talked about, which is I finally got to play Sorcery. So it's no longer just a thing that sits on my shelf and I have to imagine or wonder what it's like in my head. I actually got to put my hands on it. I got to play with the pirates. I got to play with the mermaids. I got a pirate ship. I did all my pirating that I really, really wanted to do. So I want to put my thoughts out there and I want to let you know about how I feel. But first off, I just wanted to show you kind of the experience I had. I got a little footage of me and the Playgroup getting together, and then I also got some interviews with each person from the Playgroup who got together for this, and kind of got their feelings about playing with the pre-cons, the beta pre-cons, and what they thought about their initial thoughts on the game. I know it's funny because a few weeks ago, it seems like nobody in the Playgroup really knew what Sorcery was or cared about it, but then something happened. I think it was the video that I put out about Sorcery Beta kind of triggered in my friend Dave from Dave's Card Warehouse to get really invested and figure out. So Dave got on Tabletop Simulator with Dan, and they were playing the game, and they knew all the rules, which is awesome because usually when we do this with like a new card game, we all have to show up and then we watch a video together, and we all have to figure out all the rules all together. But this time, since Dan and Dave had already figured out the rules on Tabletop Simulator and they've been playing it, we didn't have to, they just taught us how to play the game, which is great. So they taught me and Billy, my other friend. So I just want to show you a little bit about what we did, show you the interviews I had with Dan, Dave, and Billy, and see what their thoughts were on Sorcery. And then I'll come back and I'll let you know what I thought at the end of the video. So we'll have a little mix up here. So let's get right to the footage, and I will see you back here in a few minutes, or maybe 10-ish minutes. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'll see you at the end of the video, okay? I'll be right back. Okay.
Marker.
Dan.
Mark.
Okay. So you're a resident Johnny.
Yes.
I would say you're a resident combo maker. You're into building decks.
Yes.
How did this get your itch for like that kind of like deck building or that kind of like stuff? How do you feel about the game in that kind of regard?
So since we played Precons and the Geomancer is a little weird with turning things into rubble, which the Precon doesn't have much of, it doesn't feel like a synergy deck built around the avatar skills, which is frustrating for somebody who plays like I do.
Yeah.
I want every card in the deck to lend itself to the goal, and it doesn't do that at all.
Okay.
But it's still like a fun deck. And it was interesting to see the rock, paper, scissors aspect of the different avatars, where I beat fire just barely. I really got stomped by wind, and you and I didn't get to play water versus Geomancer today.
We were kind of wondering if that would be like if your deck would beat water.
Maybe. It seems reasonable, but I'm not sure. But I think fire and the Pyromancer and Geomancer seemed pretty darn even. Sorry, Flamemancer. Flamecaller and Geomancer was pretty darn even. I liked it. I would have liked to have seen more cards that make and benefit from rubble in a deck where your Geomancer's ability is rubble centric.
Did you kind of get an idea of like cards that you would like, or like abilities that you would, if there was a card out there that you'd be looking for, or something specific like that?
For sure, yeah. There's lands that you can sacrifice to blow up other lands and then replace rubble with your own, like almost like ramping and area denial by pulling sites from your land pile onto the battlefield. I'm using incorrect nomenclature, but yeah, it's cool.
And so, any other initial thoughts or anything that kind of struck you, or your feelings about the game? Like, how would you rank it for yourself?
Oh, it's great. It's super fun. But as a beginner, there's definitely a little bit of a learning curve, and it's not the same as Magic, which is usually what I play. Not being able to heal beyond 20 life is a little frustrating in a deck that has a bunch of life gain cards. That feels stupid. It's just like, again, precons don't have as much synergy as I would have liked to have seen. Yeah. But it's still, I think they did a good job at balancing them and giving you mechanics to learn for a beginner. So it's cool.
Cool. Awesome. Billy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
So first, I should ask this. What's your initial thoughts on the game?
I like it more. What was the one that we played last time?
Grand Archive.
I like it way more than Grand Archive. There's a lot more movement, and like the kinetic aspects of the game with the board layout was really cool. Don't like it as much as Magic. Just want to put that out there as a disclaimer to start with. I think maybe once I understand the rules a little bit more, that might change. It might grow on me. Yeah, it was. I had fun.
Okay.
10 out of 10 would play again.
Okay.
But not if you said let's play Magic. I'd play Magic instead.
Okay. Would you see yourself wanting to play like sealed, or would you want to get together with like a constructed deck that you built beforehand, or what would you want to get together if we got together again to play?
Yeah, I like sealed. The concept of the random nature of sealed. Like when I know I'm memeing about Magic, but like sealed Magic is like one of my favorite. Mm-hmm. Like random, go in, everyone's starting out. Yeah, a little bit of luck, but also a little bit of like think on your feet, move fast.
It's the best.
I like that. I definitely get together for some sealed in this. I don't know what the pack construction is like, so I don't know what that, like the randomness and if the card counts and stuff like that, if that works. I will say that the pre-cons, like I think Dan was making a point that was really cool around like my deck with the void. You had the concept of void walking, and then I had the concept of flying. Both seem in contrast with each other. Like I'd rather have all void walking or all flying. So I definitely want to do either constructed or sealed, but I would prefer sealed over constructed.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, we got to get a box and actually like try it out. And my other thought there was like, are there like regular lands that you could use, like kind of like basic lands? Because that was one my sites. Sorry, like because you only get one site usually per pack. So are you going to get enough sites? But maybe there's like regular sites. So we'll figure out the rules for next time. But you are a resident Spike here. You love playing competitively. You love winning. Mm-hmm. We all know you love winning.
And you beat me twice.
Okay, I know.
You beat me twice.
Yeah, but usually,
I'm very upset about this.
But usually, you're the one whooping everyone's ass.
It makes me mad.
Yeah, I know. We all know that.
That's why I want to leave. I was going to try to play everybody once, but you won twice. I quit.
I appreciate you sticking around for it. But how does this get your kind of like competitive itch? How do you feel like competitively with the game?
Yeah, I want to go through some more of the cards. Like just fingering through some of the cards. There's some really cool stuff in there. There's definitely the concept of paper, rock, scissors with some of the deck stuff. Like when I was playing Dan, I had creatures that did 2 and 3 damage, and he had a bunch of 1/1 weenies, easy to kill. Your shit's like 4s, and you had an 8 out there. I can't do anything to that. Mm-hmm. I had like 1 lightning bolt, a chain lightning, and then like a lightning storm. But combined, they're only going to do like 7 damage, which is out of range for me in a turn to kill. So I definitely think that like with some time with the cards, it might scratch that competitive itch. But I wonder if it's always going to end up being like standard can be like paper, rock, scissors. Like standard lately has been pretty cool, but like for the longest time it was paper beats rock, rock beats scissors. Like, so I wonder if that'll be like that. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I want to play again, like, but I want to build my own deck.
Yeah. We'll have to get together again too. Awesome. Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Devin. Devin won twice.
That's what happens.
And Marker.
Hey, I'm here with Dave from Dave's Card Warehouse, my nemesis and competition.
Yeah, but you beat me pretty handily today.
I think I just got lucky with the deck.
Because you played water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you told me water was going to suck, but I
said it's more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I had no clue what I was doing that first round.
Yeah, because there's more mechanics.
Yeah.
Especially for the first time.
I chose it because of the pirates and the mermaids.
Yeah, and you did get the ship out.
Yeah, I got the ship. I got the mermaids. I got
the Kraken out.
Yeah, I got the Kraken out.
Yeah.
Like, I got the feeling of like what I'm excited about. But this is about me.
Yep.
This is about you. This is about Dave. Dave's Card Warehouse.
.com.
So what are your initial thoughts on the game?
Number one, get a mat. That mat was great.
Yeah,
we got that from Covenant, by the way. Shout out to Covenant. The game's super fun. I really love it. We had 3 totally different games each time. Heard you guys over there strategizing how to play against different deck types. Just to call out a couple different cards in the Flame. What is it?
Caller?
Flame Caller deck. Wildfire is super fun. Cone of Flame is very nice. The Basilisk is super cool because it literally disables everybody in front of them. And then the Quarrelsome Kobolds was also very fun. So we played a little bit. Dan and I have been playing a little bit, and I hadn't even seen these cards before. So this was cool.
Yeah. It kind of freaked me out because I never know what you're going to like. I was just say you're a resident wild card if I had to put it out because I never have any idea like what you're going to like.
Lorcana, don't talk to me about
Yeah,
Lorcana.
exactly. You're over Lorcana. Like,
Dawn of Ashes.
Every time I bring it up, Grand Archive.
Don't talk to me about it. We don't carry it at Dave's Card Warehouse.
Okay, but for this, you were talking mad shit to me about it. But then all of a sudden you had like a turning point. And what was the turning point? What brought you into the game?
I think the turning point was it's different. And by different, I mean, it's got the grid, right? Got the above ground, below ground. It's got sights, right? It's just different in that regard. So like Dan says, there's a little bit of checkers, a little bit of chess. There's movement involved. We chase each other around. We were both on death's door. So there's just new and different mechanics, and because of the way my brain works, I like it.
Yeah. How do you feel about the art?
The art's awesome. The art's, especially the Frazetta stuff. If I can find some of the Frazetta cards, I'm gonna spend the money and get them for the personal collection.
Yeah,
but there's some super awesome hand done art here.
Yeah, I feel like the art really, and just like the packaging and how it's the vibe to the game really. I feel like it scratches our itch for like collectible stuff you want to own. Like I just like looking at it. Like I said, it's just like cool having around.
Kraken pack so far has been fun.
Yeah,
there haven't been too many foils, like just the right amount.
What did you pull? One for box one.
Box one. What did I pull?
The Philosopher's Stone.
I did get a Philosopher's Stone.
Like
I'm
the best part of the goddamn game.
Not close. I wish it was the foil. It was not the foil. Let me be clear.
You did that with the Flesh and Blood too, though. It was like your second box.
Got a couple legendaries or something.
You pulled like the Fabled card.
Yeah,
like your second box.
Yeah. You're not happy about that.
Asshole.
Yeah. It's the Dave's Card Warehouse Luck, 15,000 square feet, South Congress. We're currently carrying Yu-Jee-oh.
Okay, appreciate it. Great interview. Okay, thank you. Okay. I think I edited that out. Now we're back. It was pretty interesting, right, to see what everybody thought. Like they had like some great thoughts. Billy, Dan, Dave, they all. I don't know. It's fun to play with that group. They're a good group of dudes. They're fun people. I enjoy their company and hanging out with them. And they are what make games like this a lot of fun, especially checking them out. So thank you to each one of you for doing the interview and being a good sport and all that. So. So I want to get to my thoughts real quick on what I thought about the game, and I want to be honest here, and just straight off the bat when I first did it, and I don't know if this was just because I was tired or how I was feeling, but it was just hard for me to concentrate and really put everything together, and I was just having, you know what, I want to say like my first game, I was just really kind of confused, and I didn't really have a good time. I'm just going to be honest with it. It was just like, and like I said, I had literally no practice, I had no idea what to expect, and some things threw me off just about like the land placement, where I need to be putting my lands, what's more important, getting more cards or putting lands out. The numbers of the attack power just kind of threw me off, kind of confused me. I was like, I'm so used to like attack and defense, but it's weird just having like a combat rating. But the more you think about it, the more it is, okay, that kind of makes sense, just having like a combat rating. But then there were some things that were confusing to me because I got the Fount of Youth or the Fount of Healing, and it was like it heals all allies, but it was like, am I an ally? Why would I want to heal my creatures when they heal automatically at the end of the turn? Like, and I'm pretty sure they can't double attack or double strike, so why this card seems useless to me. So I kept like seeing that, and like I said, I felt kind of tired, and I was like, I don't really understand this, but we kept playing, and I kept making my way through. I played Dave the first time, and then I got my goal was just, I'm going to get as much mana I can and then start just drawing cards, and then I pulled the Kraken. And the Kraken came out, and me and Dave were like, we were tied. He was about to kill me. I was about to kill him. But then I pulled out the Kraken, and I just like destroyed him. Whooped his ass with the Kraken. That card is crazy. It comes out, it's got 8 attack. It's like, who's gonna kill that thing? That thing is like, and it's the Kraken, so it makes sense, right? But I got that thing up on his land, and I just ended up killing him. And I was like, okay, I guess I lucked into that win. I had no idea. So that kind of threw me off just the first game. But I submerged a little bit. There was one really cool interaction that I thought. So I pulled this card. It was a treasure chest, and then my opponent got to put the treasure chest somewhere on the land, and then I summoned some mermaids, and then I had the mermaids submerge down, and then they grabbed the treasure chest and pulled it back up to the top, and I got cards out of that. And I was like, that's so cool. That was my first interaction. It was like just that, like that right there, just having like the board. And that's what came a lot more obvious to me as the games went on. So, but that was a really cool first interaction, was just like pulling up that treasure chest, and also just like how cards were working. But I had a little confusion, and I would say just from my tiredness, like I was kind of like, I don't know about this. But then the next game came out, and then it just kind of all clicked for me. Just like, so I played the second game against Billy. So the first one was against Fire, and then Billy had the Spark Mage, or the guy with a lot of Void Walk and stuff like that. So this time, I was a little more careful about where to put my lands, and then also because the deck for the water mage, the water wizard, the water sorcerer, right? It's sorcery, right? Duh. The water sorcerer, like you could one of them would like make you scry a land, so you get to see, or scry a spell, and then you could put it under or like put it on top. But then it was really cool because you had a card that actually, when you played the card, it allowed you to draw a card from the bottom of your deck. So what you could do is like play one of those lands, put a card, you're like, ooh, I actually like that card, so I'm going to put it on the bottom of my deck because I have this next card in my hand. When I play it, it allows me to pull the card from the bottom of my hand, and that way you have access to the next card, whatever that is, and you still have access to the card that you just scried away, which is like, oh, that's really cool. But I started placing the lands out there, and like my strategy this time was like, I'm going to start the scry lands out there, and then I get like a maelstrom, and the maelstrom would like suck anything in your body of water, and that's what I was like, kind of like, I didn't really understand like how the map worked, in the first game. But then as the second game went on, I was like, you know what, I just want to get my lands over on his side. And so I was just like putting my lands forward and just trying to, any way I possibly could, to try to encroach on his side of the map, because I was like, if I could just take over that side, then that'll give me like a clear advantage. And like maybe his character isn't going to be like mine, where I'm trying to get 8 mana at least to get that Kraken out there, or like some of my bigger characters. So at least racing to 6, and then so he had to use his a mage to do something. I forget what it was, but that gave me the opportunity to put a land over on his side, and that was, I think that kind of like turned the whole game right there. So I feel like lands and just the placement of the lands and how you're using them, because some of the lands on the water deck, they would flood like opposite some of your enemies' lands, and when it's flooded, then you could bring in, like, because pirate ships, they're water bound, and like some of my characters are water bound, means they could only be in water. So then I could move them onto my enemies' lands if I flooded them somehow. So, and my water sorcerer was able to flood them, and then some of my lands could flood them. And then I had creatures that automatically flood lands. And so it was just like, it was all kind of coming together a lot more for me on the second game. And then also, I just like really started to appreciate like how like the submersion versus the air versus like how everybody's working around, and then also with the Void Walker, and how everything's just so thematic, and so you feel like, and I know a lot of games like want to make this happen, but in this game in particular, it makes you feel like you are like there, it like you're building the map, you're making your mermaids swim underwater to get some defense, or you're flooding lands to get your creatures on land. It's like, it's so cool. It's not just like, hey, we're just out here. Like in a lot of games, the battlefield doesn't matter. And in this, like, the battlefield adds a whole new element to this game, because I mean, there's this card that my friend was showing me where it's like a boulder, and you can like push it around the map, and when you push around the map, it like knocks everything out of its way and does damage to it. And like, that's just something you can't do with other card games that don't have that like kind of like a board to it, so it's like a board game card game. And that is the other thing. Okay. No, I'll get to this at the end as kind of my initial thoughts. So, and I think it's the end. It's kind of the end. So my third game, So the third game, I think I had my like full strategy, which is I feel like the water deck was kind of like a lot of defense, and this is kind of cool because there's sirens, sirens of the sea, mermaids that would like force my opponent's characters to come into the water, and when they come into the water, then I could have cards that drown them, and it was just like, so a lot of it was just like, I'm gonna play as much defense as I can. Just I'm not even gonna go on their side of the board. I'm just gonna try to draw cards, get as much land as I can until I get 8, and then try to get my big characters out there. So then having like a pirate ship, and then the Kraken, and then there was like a sea serpent that would go out there and just like whoop ass. So I don't know. It was just like so cool to finally have that strategy. So after the third game, that's all we had time for. I think I had a way better feeling from it. And from the beginning, from the first game, when I was just kind of like, I have no clue what I'm doing here. I've been up for like forever, and my brain's not working to like to the end when it's just like, I am the commander of the sea. Like, I am a fucking water wizard. This is so cool. I'm summoning serpents. I'm like controlling the land. And so after that game, and I would say the rest of the night, and then as time has gone on since we had those games, I want to play it more. I mean, I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've had from playing it. It was like, yeah, it kind of had a barrier to entry to begin with, but after that, like, I just can't stop thinking about it. And it's just like, I want to go look at all the cards that I pulled from my beta box and see like what can go well into the precons. And like, and that excites me. And it's funny because my friends, or Billy, Dan, Dave, and they've all been talking about it too. It's like, we can't wait to get back together and play some more of this game. And we all have more of a feeling for it. So I think as time goes, I feel like if you're like me, you may have a little barrier, but then once you get over that, I feel like you're gonna love the game. Like I enjoyed it greatly. So just from 3 games, a little experience of the precon, I have to say I give the game 2 thumbs up. Devin's Card House approval. Gameplay is awesome, and I like that it's unique, and I like that it adds these like elements that like make you feel like you're there, and it kind of mixes in a board game and a card game. Okay, that's my other thought though. I will throw this out because I have been loving jamming just Lorcana games, and Lorcana just seems to be like, I've been thinking in my mind what it is. It's kind of like, it's like Diablo. It's just, you kind of turn your brain off and you just jam. You just have fun. Like, you're not worried about what your opponent's doing on their turn. I mean, you're only doing what you can. And it's just like, it's a lot of fun in the incomplexity because it's not very complex at all. It's just fun. Just kind of like Diablo, going around, just killing monsters, getting loot. This is just like throwing out creatures and getting lore, as much lore as you can. And it's just it's very fun, and it's very simple, but and in that simplicity and the accessibility that like a lot of people aren't, I wonder, I kind of want to get my wife to try this game because she loves Lorcana. She's played Lorcana. I want her to try out Sorcery and just get her thoughts on it, because I don't think this should I think this might be a little too inaccessible for her, but that's okay. Sometimes we need games that are a little more complex for people who play a lot of games, so that is my other thought. So it might not be accessible to some people. It's a little more complex, but in that complexity, there's something there that kind of like tugs at your brain string, being like, I want to do more of this. I want to figure this game out. I want to put the pieces of this puzzle together, So I'm super excited to play more and check out more of the cards, because like I said, like I'm way more familiar with what was in these precons, but I want to go look through all the cards that I pulled in the beta booster box and see if I can fit them in here. So it's just super exciting, and I'm really glad to report that me and the rest of the Playgroup like really enjoyed it. And in those interviews, why they all got a shit on Grand Archive? I didn't know that they had such a fucking hate boner for Grand Archive. I enjoyed Grand Archive, and in fact, for Grand Archive, I'm going to a tournament on the 26th in Houston, I believe. I need to, I think, call the store, maybe reserve a spot or something like that. But I will be in Houston on the 26th and maybe playing in a Grand Archive tournament because, fuck those guys. Fuck them. I'm not talking to those guys ever again. fuck every single one of y'all talking shit about my Grand Archive, okay? I love Grand Archive. I don't want this to be... those guys, they just couldn't wrap their head around the memory thing. It wasn't that complex. Like, guys, it's not that complex. And, like, I just think they overthink things sometimes. But it's like, how can they figure this shit out and they can't figure out Grand Archive? It makes no sense to me. But whatever. Anyways, those are my thoughts. As I get to play more of the game, because games all change once you from when you first start out and you have that initial love with them. Can it hold the test of time though? Can this keep us really focused on one game for the next until Arthurian Legends comes out? And then also, and I just read the whole thing about Dust. There's just so much going on. I have to make a Dust video now about the Dust because I want one of those Sorcery t-shirts. I want the Sorcery hoodie. I want a Sorcery hoodie and a t-shirt, and I have to get Dust to get it. Well, I don't want to have to spend too much on these boxes. So I have to win tournament. Whatever. So yeah. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Sorcery. Thank you so much to Dave from Dave's Card Warehouse, Dan from Alamo Dan's house, and Billy from Castle Billy B Blackerby. Castle Billy. Anyways. That's it from me. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I can think of. If you have any thoughts on your thoughts with Sorcery, how you'd enjoyed it, please throw it down in the comments. I appreciate all my subscribers. I appreciate you. Even if you're not subscribed, if you took the time to watch this, that's incredible, and I love that too. If you need anything, just let me know, okay, guys? I'm here. Let me know, okay? I will talk to you later, and you have a fantastic day, okay? Bye-bye.